One of the storylines this offseason was what's going to happen with Minnesota Vikings star receiver Adam Ezekiel Thielen. Yes, the pride of Detroit Lakes, Mankato State University Community College. Nailed it. Minnesota guy through and through, but he's getting up there in age. The Vikings need to save some salary cap, and production-wise, Thielen is starting to hit a ledge, right, and potentially decline. And obviously, he doesn't see it that way, but maybe the team does. It sort of is what it is, and the Vikings are going to have to make a decision. Adam Schefter of ESPN is reporting that the decision is coming. Schefter, go. There's a real possibility that the Vikings and Adam Thielen will part ways in the coming days, allowing the two-time Pro Bowl wide receiver to become a free agent per sources. The two sides will talk in coming days, but his time in Minnesota could be coming to an end. And it's unfortunate, especially with what happened with Kendricks a couple days ago. It kind of sucks where a lot of these key players from some really good teams from the last couple of years, players that fans have really grown accustomed to and really grown attached to, especially Thielen being a Minnesota guy, but it is what it is. This team is looking to shed some bad contracts, looking to get younger, looking to get faster, and Thielen may be caught up in that. And he's due an $11 million and change base salary this season, which fully guarantees next week, the third day of the new league year. And the Vikings can they restructured him last offseason, so the salary cap savings are going to be negligible. But if the Vikings do want to move on, they can save a couple million and just go from there. And Field Yates pointed out, even though Thielen is 32, he's still got good football left in him. He had 70 catches last year and had the fifth most receiving touchdowns in the NFL over the past 3 seasons, 30. The wide receiver market is thin this offseason, and he'd be amongst the best available. And, yeah, I mean, the free agent market is going to be thin, but the teams have to spend up this money. So you look at guys like Jacoby Myers, you look at guys like Allen Lazard, are probably going to get 12, 13, 14 million per season. And the rest of the way, I mean, who are you really excited about in free agency? Like Juju? Sure. I don't know. I don't know, man. So Thielen and his agent could be looking at this, where it's like, hey, if the Vikings don't want to pay me the $11.8 million and change, we can hit free agency and get something similar. And also, if he finds a different team, say in a state that has no state income tax, better weather, could be something that certainly could be appealing to him and his family at this point too. And Thielen this year, he's going to be turning 33 years young in August. He's got a $13.55 million dead cap number. Now the Vikings, if they move on from him, could free up $6.4 million in cap savings. That they can extrapolate that out to around 13.4 if they make him a post-June 1st cut, which they can spread out the dead cap hit over a couple of seasons. It's exactly what they did with Kyle Rudolph 2 years ago. And even though Thielen has been productive, as Jefferson is that alpha wide receiver one getting all the attention, his last 100-yard game was October 21. And as we pointed out, like 3 stats that really stood out: yards after catch, yards per out run, contested catch rate were amongst the bottom, or were the bottom in terms of the qualifying receivers around the NFL. So what made him great was great hands, great instincts, great route running and separation. He's not getting the same separation that he did. And could it be, people always say, it's like, well, if Kirk would just throw him the ball, what if he's not getting open? And what if Kevin O'Connell knows that too? Maybe that's why things weren't schemed the way they were for Thielen. I don't really know. Has been bothered by ankle injury over the last couple of years, but got that cleaned up in last January. So Thielen and Jefferson were a nice 1-2 combination for a while, but it's pretty clear that Jefferson is still 1-1-1, and Thielen, he's gone from 2, maybe down to 3, maybe down to 4. I think KJ is ready to rise up. I think that if you add rookie TBD to the mix with KJ and JJ, and then maybe a guy like Jalen Naylor or Jalen Rager step up, along with TJ Hawkinson, that's one of the better pass-catching cores in the National Football League. And, with Thielen, like we mentioned, Thielen obviously has love for the Vikings and the great state of Minnesota, but the business is the business, and that works both ways. So the Vikings, who may not see Thielen as a wide receiver 2 anymore, they don't want to pay him wide receiver 2 money, and Thielen could be looking at the free agent list is like, hey, I could still, even if I'm cut, I could still find a spot where I'm wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3, going to the Chiefs or the Bills or the Cowboys or the Ravens, whatever, and still get paid and still have a couple good seasons left. So I think it's a spot where it's quasi-amicable, where it doesn't seem to be a lot of hostilities either way. I think both sides just realize it sort of is what it is, and both sides could and should benefit by a conscious uncoupling. I think that's where we're currently headed. But your thoughts are thoughts. Schefter seeing a real possibility that Thielen and the Vikings will part ways in the next couple days. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skol, production value.